Well, if you're like me, you decide that the best time to go grocery shopping at your favorite 24-hour store of choice is sometime between the hours of 11 a.m. and about 3 or 4 a.m., depending on what you're doing and what your needs are. I work second shift, which means a lot of the times I got out of work between around 8 and 10. It's a half-hour drive from where I work to my apartment. So if I got out at 8, I go home at 8:30. If I got out at 10, I go home at 10:30. And that's if I don't get distracted along the way and or take a way that I'm like, oh, this is a new way, and it turns out to be a disaster. And instead of going to the store on the way home, I go home and I do things, and then I decide later to go back out to the store. For example, tonight, I've become obsessed with my slow cooker and or my crock pot, or as my family calls it, the crack pot. Um, and so the other night, I threw in a bunch of crazy ingredients. Check out my Instagram for a picture with an ingredient list. I'm actually going to write the recipe down because it turned out pretty good. But I pretty much threw whatever I could find in my cabinets and my freezer, whatnot, in this crock pot and let it cook for like 5 hours. And it was chicken with stuff, and it was really good. So I had a recipe for butternut squash. No, it was pumpkin soup. Then instead of the onion, I was going to add butternut squash too to make like a squash butternut pumpkin extravaganza. So I started cooking that. And then I thought, I have more chicken breasts. And I found a recipe for maple chicken, which was like maple syrup, Italian dressing, oddly enough, chicken, and onion. I didn't have any apples. I didn't have any onion. I didn't have any Italian dressing, but I do have syrup. So I have chicken. So I'm part of the way there. And then I feel like I was gonna make something else and got anyways. So I go to the store. Long story short, I went to the store and I'm driving back and I'm driving down like the main drag. It's called Main Street. And it is 1 o'clock in the morning, granted, but it's a Friday night. So there's lots of people out. I live in a college town. And I'm driving along and it's raining pretty hard. And it's just like a 6-lane road. There's like 2 lanes going one way, 2 lanes going the other way, and then like a turning lane, and then like this ambiguous lane that you can use when you don't really know what's going on in life if you're questioning. I don't know. But anyways, I'm driving along and I look up and I see like 4 or 5 figures crossing the road. And for one, it's a kind of busy road. Granted, there are only a few cars on it, but it's still a busy road. And so I'm thinking, okay. And they're walking super duper, and it's pouring down. It's pouring, like drops as big, pouring down rain. And I'm like, okay. And seriously, like, this is how they were walking. Like, instead of, like, walking, like, across the road, like, you'd think they were doing, like, they were literally, like, and there was, a person in the back who, I'll lower this, it's going to look really awkward, so you can kind of maybe see my hips if I back up far enough. But he was kind of walking, like, I don't even know what was going on. But, so, I'm like, what is going on? And my first thought is not that these people are hurt, not that these people are out doing things not supposed to be doing. My first thought is, oh my God, the zombie apocalypse is upon us. And those are the first victims, whatever. So, the logical thing, I slow down a little bit and I lock my doors. Because we all know that the first thing a zombie's going to do is approach my car door and try to open it. But I guess if my first logical thought to people walking slowly and somewhat limpidly, across the road is that they're zombies. Turns out they weren't zombies, and the guy in the back who's walking funny had like those really super baggy shorts on that are long enough to be pants or capris or whatever, and he was trying to hold them up without using his hands. But really, my first reaction was the zombie apocalypse is upon us. So I guess when I decide to go to the store at 1 o'clock in the morning to get stuff to make crockpot soups and chicken and 0-calorie vanilla bean Jones soda. Awesome! You see you walking across the road, you automatically think they're zombies. True facts.